Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Officer Peter Griffin.
You cut out there. I don't know if I actually wanted to hear that, but you did cut out. Folks, we're recording remotely again due to something in the news. Not really a politics guy, not really a news guy, outside of everything we talk about here. So,
right.
Don't exactly know what people are talking about, but we're not allowed to.
We're not allowed to leave. We're in lockdown.
Yeah. Hey, what did I do wrong?
Code red.
What the hell did we do wrong? That's what I want to know. Am I in trouble? Am I grounded? Come on, you gotta tell me.
Are those the rules?
Let's give a quick thank you to our guest from last week, Asterios Kokonos. Thank you, Asterios. And the crowd is going wild for a returning champion to Thought Cops. That's right. Of course, I'm talking about Brett Mercer from Big Time Garbage. How the hell are you, Brett?
What's up? What's up? What's up? No, I don't think my tongue should be that far out of my mouth due to this whole COVID thing that I've been reading about for the past 5 minutes.
Unbelievable.
What's cooking, fellas?
Not much. How you doing?
Oh, dude, great. Just chilling in the house where I've been for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Rules.
Yeah. Far be it for me to criticize the government, but I've had just about enough of this.
I say somebody ought to do something.
COVID or the government?
Have you guys heard it? Have you guys read up on this COVID thing at all?
Yeah, I was just doing a little goofing around at the head of the episode. Of course, I know what this is. I know what's going on. I know that people are out there coughing and they're doing the waza thing and getting people sick. It's not good, folks.
Right, that's why, yeah. Too many people referencing 90s commercials and it's destroyed everybody.
It's not good.
The COVID-19 disease, much like the Budweiser Was Up commercial campaign, is literally sweeping the nation.
Once again, sweeping the nation. You know what? But, times like these, they bring about change. They bring about new ways to entertain the populace. It's like, Grant, it's like I always say the past 2 weeks, podcast to the people.
I'm going to have a mental breakdown, I think is what's going to happen. I think the signs are already there. So,
Brett, you and the Big Time Garbage crew have been hitting it hard, among the conditions at play currently. You guys have been streaming on Twitch almost every single night.
We are not stopping until we figure out, through the art of riffing and goofing around with our friends, how to fix this problem. Yeah, we've been every night we've been going on Twitch and just basically just doing a loose version of the podcast with like an open invite to whoever wants to come on, whoever wants to groove with us in the chat. It's kind of fun. I kind of like it a whole lot. And I never want these COVID times to end, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't care. I honestly wouldn't care, if we're having fun. Everything else is collateral damage as far as I'm concerned.
There's a couple of things we could figure out, sure, like how to make people not die at the rate that they're dying.
Sure,
and,
sure.
Something about the economy. But I mean, look, as far as content goes, I mean,
content overall, in my opinion.
All right, the studio audience is booing me for saying that COVID is actually good. That's all right. Well,
okay. Fair enough. I understand where they're coming from.
I mean, those of us that are like of healthy, I won't say mind, but healthy body that are just sort of stuck indoors. It's sort of like you're in a hyperbaric time chamber, like just time's sort of been elongated, and it's like you can do whatever you want.
Are you guys getting that thing where you you don't know what day it is, you don't know what time it is?
Yep.
Where you it seems like time this whole time has been just an illusion.
It's like limbo.
Yeah. I'm also losing my mind a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, your stream's been a lot of fun to watch. I joined once and then the stream failed spectacularly as soon as I joined. But
interesting.
That was the one night that we didn't actually stream anything. Well, we did stream something, but it wasn't anything of substance. That was the one time that the technical difficulties got the best of us, which we did. I definitely want to have you back on.
Yeah,
ASAP.
I mean, I'm not doing anything. But
No.
I like the whole setup is hilarious, and you have like a green screen going or something.
Yeah, I got the first day that I was like, basically that I was sure that everything was going to be shut down for a while. I made sure to run out and get a blue tarp so I can use it as a keyable background. Probably not the best way to use my time in public, but hey, the people power podcast to the people, like
to the people.
Well, and I liked, I think one of the first times I tuned in, I think after 2 or 3 days of you guys doing it, I jumped in the chat and like you had set up the stream to make it look like you were Howard Stern and you were putting different people on the couch. So you just do like stupid shit like that, like drag people's faces over certain images to make it look like you're in different settings.
That's one of our signature bits is me hopping into the Howard Stern studio and claiming that we are the number one Twitch stream on the 8 o'clock slot. And finding other people who are streaming at 8 o'clock Eastern time and saying that they're dead, saying that they're dust, trying to find the Twitch ratings to no avail, but nonetheless disparaging them for trying to come after the king of all media, me and my friends. Another one that we've been doing is we've been putting people we've been doing like wrestling promos, but like behind the Joe Biden podium in front of his fake backdrop. That's been good. Yeah, it's different than the podcast because it's like a wider net of like people who can call in. It's not just like friends of ours in real life, but rather just, you know, whoever shows the slightest amount of interest in coming on. It's been tight. I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, awesome. I think that brings about sort of like an interesting shift because, Brett, you're also a stand-up comedian, and hey, the clubs and the bars are closed. You can't be going out doing shows, you know, and all that stuff. So people are finding alternative ways, and you know, this is a great way to get ahead of that.
It's been really interesting to see the way that COVID-19 has impacted the stand-up comedy community, specifically like the Facebook cohort of people that I see the post from most often. Yeah, you know, because like in the beginning when everyone was still just like, oh, what the hell, you know, we can't go outside. They were like, how am I supposed to do stand-up comedy? And looking back on that now, it's like, you don't need to ever do that again. You can just give it a minute.
I mean, there is man.
There is something to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of people are doing like these virtual open mics, which I can't imagine is any fun or productive at all.
Kevin, you did one.
Yeah, I've been doing them. Yeah, a friend of ours has been doing it, and it's different because obviously you can only hear the host when he's laughing, if you're lucky, and otherwise, I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like our friend Brandon Kirkman was doing one, and he puts on like a crappy movie like playing in the background, and like it's kind of similar. Where he just drags people's like video feeds into this like bizarre whatever. Yeah, it's something. I mean, it's not exactly like the same experience you get from going on stage, but
for sure, and it is a way to get your material or your writing out there and verbalize it. But I've always felt like as a criticism of stand-up comedy is that it's very slow to change. And so it's interesting to see how like these setbacks have challenged people to do like you said, like more like streaming content or video content. And I've seen some pretty good stuff that I don't think I would have seen had it not been for amid these unprecedented times.
True. But, I mean, we're trying to do the same thing. We've been streaming on Twitch quite a bit recently too, at least a lot more than usual, because, you know, people are starving for content. And as soon, you know, all these movies that were supposed to be getting filmed and all this other, you know, video games and big entertainment that has been delayed due to the pandemic, you know, that's going to run out. You know, soon enough, they're not going to have any movies, and all they're going to have is us at the end of the world. How comforting a thought is that, huh?
Not very.
The day podcasts took over. It is funny to think about, like, how the movies aren't going to be made anymore, and like how do we treat the last couple months up until this point? We had a bunch of people redo Sonic. I think that's kind of funny. Like, you don't know what you got till it's gone, and that's the perfect. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the new Sonic a lot more than the old Sonic, but
that's our legacy now.
Yeah,
that's how we'll be remembered when the aliens find our corpses.
Yeah, and you know, with the streaming everyday thing that we've been doing, like, it's also like really helpful in keeping like my schedule kind of regular.
Yeah.
Which has been the biggest, like, that's the biggest thing with this staying inside thing. It's like if you want to, you can do nothing at all. But how long will that, you know, how long can you maintain your sanity without that, like the routine, you know?
Yeah, it's not good.
I don't know. I'm using it as an opportunity to explore the depths of my own insanity, you know? Like, I stayed up until 8 a.m. last night / this morning, just like fucking around with Streamlabs, trying to get like all the settings correct so that it looked good, because it's been a nightmare with this old fucking shit ass computer. But, you know, there is a point where it's just like, well, yeah, you know, I don't have anything that I have to do. And why do I do the things that I feel like I need to do, you know, sort of thing. Like, you can do whatever you want so long as it's not go outside and be social. But, you know, I'm sort of turning around this corner that's sort of like, well, what's the idea of productivity in and of itself, aside from just like, I'm being busy just to feel like I'm busy because I feel like I need things to do? It's like, maybe take a couple steps back. You know, don't focus on just like, how do I be more productive? It's like, no one's producing anything really. We're all just sort of fucking around. Like, maybe take a couple steps back and then like focus on, hey, what should I actually be focusing on? And for a lot of people, I think that's sort of like, well, I don't know, you know?
Right. Like, it's hobby season, baby. I do have a weird theory that, like, you know, people our age who are in the workforce right now, you know, we very rarely get the opportunity or even the means to like to vacation.
Yeah.
Or to really do leisure the way that like past generations have. And it's like, we're about to take all of our vacation all at once right now.
It's kind of relaxing in that sort of sense, you know, and in a sort of depressing sense that vacation is like just you stuck at home by yourself. But at the same time, it is like, I don't know, I feel like vacations that I usually take are sort of, you know, you go run around, you see a bunch of stuff, and then a week after the vacation, you're fucking exhausted from, you know, having done all this stuff. But it's just like a stay-at-home order, you know?
Hey, if you close your eyes and kick back and don't read the news, it's like you're on Copacabana.
A weird Copacabana with no newspapers.
Yeah, you know, just close your ears, close your eyes, and drift away to vacation land.
I'm imagining that I'm on Little St. James Island right now. It's a lot less relaxing than your vision.
Is that your meditation routine?
Yeah, man. It's bad.
Visualization?
Yeah.
I like to strap on the old VR headset and watch that YouTube video of the drone footage they got of that particular island. And just be like, ooh. And then I like to play a lid just softly in the background. Cheeseburger in Paradise, you know.
Right.
All your favorite Jimmy Buffett songs.
Of course,
I can think of many that I won't name right now, but.
Probably like a dozen, yeah.
Yeah. Dozen and a half, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There are a lot. And speaking of a lot, we got a bit of our own show news today. Like we said, we've been streaming on Twitch more than ever. Give us a follow. If you got Twitch Prime or if you got Amazon Prime tied to your Twitch account, give us a subscribe. It helps us out financially. Twitch.tv/ThoughtCops. Check it out. Don't miss a beat. Grant, you've been doing a little side project of your own too.
Oh, right. Yes, I have been. So, as a result of being laid off from my day job, I've been taking my day job to the masses. I have
audible gasp from the audience.
Whoa.
I have a fitness Instagram channel. It's at GM Fitness 312. And there's also a YouTube channel that I don't have enough followers right now to have a individualized YouTube URL. So you're just going to have to go to that Instagram page and then click the link in the bio, and that's my YouTube channel.
What's the name of the channel?
It's just Grant Mooney. Okay. It's just my name. So if you search that, you might come up with a bunch of different things, but I'm a channel. I got that guy with the mustache that's doing the fisticuffs pose. That's the channel. Classic. If you find that, that's the one. I've just been doing a couple videos on there of, I, for the most part, despite the fact that that's the industry that I work in as a day job, I kind of hate the fitness industry, and I especially hate fitness Instagram pages and, all these, what do you call them, influencers and whatnot that, they put up these videos that are like, 12 different leg workouts you can do. And it's like, well, but how do you know that you need to do any of those? And how do you know that you're doing any of them right? So I like I've been making almost sort of lectures of this is what you should be focusing on and why you should focus on it, and, things to take into consideration regarding all of that type of stuff. So, if that's something you might be interested in, give those pages a follow. Give the Instagram page a follow and give that YouTube channel a follow. It's at GM Fitness 312.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. You gotta stay active.
You gotta. Times like these, you can't. Okay, I want to be real here. You can't just be podcasting, okay?
Right.
You can't let your body go. You gotta be working on more than your lips.
I mean, I have experienced the phenomenon in which your body goes and your mind starts to go, and man, my mind is barely fucking hanging on. So doing a little bit of running every day, doing a couple push-ups, a couple squats, stuff like that, it keeps my mind from, it keeps me from turning into one of those characters from the movie The Lighthouse, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
I've never seen that particular film.
Brett, pause the recording and go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and buy that on Amazon right now. Amazon Prime, instant.
The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
So if I'm to understand, this is a 2019 psychological horror film.
That's correct. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is directed and produced by Robert Eggers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
if I'm not mistaken, this is the guy who co-wrote this screenplay with his brother Max Eggers.
It sounds like you did watch it.
I got all the important parts of the movie.
He just paused it, resumed recording, and he's now an expert on the subject. So thank you, Brett, for doing that. That's incredible dedication. We want to give a quick shout out to one of our listeners. IO-Netrunner made a list for us of all the movies and content, music, video games, media, what have you, that we've reviewed for our spin-off podcast Fire Bros. So thank you to him for that.
We'll toss that like in the on the website under the descriptions and stuff like that. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, I'll toss that up onto Patreon for everyone to look at. Yeah,
so patreon.com/thoughtcops. It helps us out a lot in these trying times. We do a spin-off show every single month called Fire Bros. We review different media, determine whether or not it is safe for public consumption, and determine whether or not to burn it or save it. And IO-Netrunner was kind enough to make a list of everything we've done for the show so far. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
And Grant, you were on, or you know what, real quick, speaking of Patreon, we also have our ride-alongs, which we're going to be recording some of those as soon as this is over. If you are kind enough and charitable enough to donate to our $10 tier on our patreon.com/thoughtcops page, you get a ride-along every month, in addition to all the tiers before that, where we'll spit roast, we'll talk shit, we'll do whatever. Give us a topic and tell us to go nuts, and we'll do so. Someone will. It's basically you can weaponize the voices of two strange men on the internet to do a podcast about the internet.
Literally anything you like for, a short amount of time. Like usually I think we try and cap them around 5 minutes or so, but just anything you want to hear us talk about, just hit up that Patreon.
Yeah. Helps us out quite a bit.
Yep.
And Grant, you were on the Rich Dickman show this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I called into, I think it might be a bonus episode, so it might be paywalled.
It's actually not behind a paywall. You can find it on the RSS feed as well as YouTube. I checked. Great episode. Highly recommend checking it out. The Rich Dickman Podcast, Chronocast number 4. But,
if you... Rem was on 6 episodes ago or something like that. If you like him, if you listen to his podcast, if you think that type of stuff is interesting, go to his Patreon page and get behind his paywall and listen to me talk about basically my fitness Instagram page, like I just was talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is what it's like when worlds collide.
It truly is, yeah.
Now, can I ask you guys a question?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you ready to go?
Go where?
Because I'm ready to go.
I get it.
All right.
That's what I was going for, man. Thank you for really tying that all in together for me.
Some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 base humor there for the
audience. Right.
So this is what it's like when worlds collide. Anyway, moving right along
I get it.
Moving right along to our very famous, very favorite segment of the show, 2 Minutes of Hate, where we like to blanket punish all this irritating gobbledygook we see on the internet every single day. Let's go off on it without further ado. Sometimes I feel like these 2 minutes of hate, they're not specifically hateful. They're not specific,
Mine are.
Sometimes they're just...
I'm always hateful.
They're just observations, They're not always whatever, And I will say I wanted to give my 2 minutes of hate shout out to the Twitter account who pointed this out. Was at Mandalay Gay, which is one of the best Twitter handles I've seen.
That rules.
He pointed out Harry Potter is for liberals and Sopranos is for leftists. Basically, I feel like the political discourse can essentially be boiled down to, neoliberals deciding what house their favorite politician would fit in the Harry Potter universe, whereas leftists will be comparing politicians to characters from Sopranos or extremely specific scenes from classic episodes of The Simpsons. Brett, I feel like you have to have seen this at some point. I know we kind of wander in the same circles on Twitter.
I've definitely, like I've definitely seen the hate towards the Harry Potterism or the Harry Pottering of like political figures and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
it's a staple.
I guess I am interested how that's any different than comparing people to other forms of media.
That's the funny thing about it. Yeah, I mean, it's like I guess like Sopranos is better than Harry Potter. Okay, so I guess those are my politics then. Sure, good optics.
But I also think that like there's a like the Sopranoizing faction of this is doing that in jest. Like
exactly, yeah. It's not exactly to be taken entirely seriously.
Yeah, but then there's also. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just like if you are going to compare, something complex to something simple in order to make it understandable, it's definitely in your benefit to be like, yeah, this is a reduction of this thing, as opposed to a 1-to-1 comparison. Like, oh, this person in Harry Potter was They had this. I've never seen Harry Potter, so I don't know what I'm saying right here. But like, oh yeah, they're. Oh yeah, that's just out of my ass. Dumbledore, right? I just a weird
right
name
in,
I came up with. Like it should be.
I feel like
I don't know. Like it at least should be like I understand how ridiculous it is to boil it down to how simple a children's book is. You know what I mean? True. At least Sopranos.
I do feel like the big thing with the Harry Potter references is that there's just so many of them, and it's just such a tired, worn out trope. You know, like I don't. Every once in a while, it's sort of like, okay, well, but people have been overdoing it for years upon years at this point, and it's like literally just reference anything else. Reference Game of Thrones, or reference the fucking Golden Compass, or literally anything else. But with what you're saying, Kevin, there's also sort of like there's been an uptick in people that are, similar to when Low Res Wonder Bread brought in the situation of people talking like Nick Mullen, just because that's the way that he talks, and utilizing some of that like buzzwordology and stuff like that. Like, there are a lot of people that I've noticed now that have started watching The Sopranos because Chapo Trap House talked about them.
Absolutely.
Or because Cumtown did like a parody of them. And they're like, I gotta watch The Sopranos now because and now you see like this overabundance of it because these fucking like, for lack of a better term, idiots just like, have globbed onto something that they're only doing it for sort of the outward, accolades, from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, anyone with over 20,000 followers on Twitter, basically take any of their hobbies and interests and just go ahead and graft it onto your brand, and you'll get right ahead.
It is true.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think there is something to be said about, like, these two schools of thought, whether it's Harry Potter or Sopranos for your politics. I mean, hey, isn't that a perfect summation of politics? It's either you are from an Ivy League elite school for special people, or you're a criminal mobster who is in the sanitation business, actually.
And when you put it that way...
More or less, yeah.
So my punishment for this is, I don't know, I just want to see Harry Potter and his friends go to New Jersey and, see what happens. Maybe, have a little run-in with, at the Bada Bing, perhaps.
I woke up this morning, got myself a broom.
Oh!
Brett, do you have a 2 minutes of hate this week?
Do I have a 2 minutes of hate? I mean, look, I will say this. Your Harry Potter Sopranos gripe is cute, but my 2 minutes of hate this week is the coronavirus, COVID-19, the novel influenza sweeping the nation. I'm sick of it. I think it can take a hike. I think. No,
but we were censor this episode.
Yeah, this is too hot for TV.
I don't care who I piss off these days. I'm going crazy.
You're a changed man, Brett.
It's unbelievable. I think it's jeans is the thing that has been holding me back this whole time. I haven't put on a pair of jeans in a couple of weeks here, so.
Yeah, I'm wearing jeans for the first time right now in like 3 weeks. Not a fan.
Dude, I haven't showered in 3 months.
I haven't washed my hands in 5 years. I would say, though, my 2 minutes of hate, we were kind of talking about this briefly before we started recording, but like there's and I should reiterate that my social media feed is largely comedians who will take the every opportunity to make a joke about something, no matter how researched or thought out it is. And so there's this phenomena of people like understanding that there's like a big presidential election going on, that a lot of people really like Bernie, and like they're like, oh, I'm not political stuff doesn't concern me. And then, like, as soon as this virus hit, then the political takes come into play. You know, It's like I thought this was something that he didn't like. Now it turns out, gotcha. So I don't know. I don't understand the world that people live in where they can think, yeah, this is just a bunch of bullshit that doesn't concern me. And then as soon as it actually concerns you, go like, not acknowledge that, like not at least go like, oh, I was wrong. These there are forces at play here that have to do with my well-being.
This is an outrage all of a sudden.
Right. I'm just like, I'm the outrage police, and I'm going, you should have been outraged before. Apologize for not being outraged before.
Yeah.
I guess blanket punishment would be you get your $12,000 or $1,200 last. How about that?
Yes.
I think I read something online that said that it could take up to 5 months for the checks to come in for people.
That's
I did
great.
see that too.
So, yeah, you get it 6 months from now.
Yeah, well, what can you do? I don't know. What can you do? Because it's political, and I don't really involve myself with that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Too confusing.
Money, I don't know. No, I know nothing about it.
Hey, stop talking about politics. I'm trying to talk about the problems with the unemployment office right now. Oh, everyone's busy talking about like, oh, politics this, politics that, and I'm just happy that like they at least covered independent contractors. Not that that's a political thing or anything like that.
Hey, I just want to grill.
Yeah. Because look, hey, don't blame me. I voted Giant Meteor. Okay, lay off me.
I just want to grill, but they shut down all the public parks. Why do they have to involve politics and everything?
Here's what I'll say: if you just want to grill, there's a certain roasting that could be done, and that's to our elected officials. You know? Really hold them to the fire. Oh, if we're talking about grilling meats, a politician who's actually out for our best interest. Now that's rare, like
the cooking temperature.
Right. Yeah,
like this steak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very rarely can I look at the government and go, "Hey, well done."
Wow.
Yeah,
we really stuck it to them this time.
Yeah.
I don't care who I piss off these days.
They're never gonna. I was waiting for the soundboard. I was waiting for the soundboard to come back in.
Alrighty then.
Very
Thank
nice.
You. All right. Well, my 2 minutes of hate this week, as we all sort of spiral down the fucking mental black hole, is also my mind latched onto something politics related, and this has sort of gone a little bit viral, but I don't think it's worth talking about on the show because it's sort of just like an anonymous, or maybe not anonymous, but it was a Reddit post that people have been sort of sharing and dunking on. I'm going to put this in the podcast chat right now. If you're at home and you're listening, just search, I think it's Dave Rubin subreddit political compass. And this is that. So if you pull that up.
Oh, that's real?
That's real, yeah.
I thought someone did that. It's just a joke. Oh, my God.
As far as I know, it's real. It might be a joke. You know, the issue with this type of stuff, and I got a couple sort of segues into this sort of abomination. It could be real. I'm willing to say that it might not be. It might be a troll. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that I've seen like argue within the merits of the sentiments of this level of thinking, if that makes any sense.
I just want to ask people just on the street, Billy on the street style. I want to go up to people with a microphone and go, "Sir, for $1, who's further left on the political spectrum, Adolf Hitler or AOC?"
You might get some surprising answers. I'll be completely honest.
And then who's further left on the political spectrum, Adolf Hitler or Bernie Sanders?
Or who's further right on the political spectrum, Stefan Molyneux or Martin Luther King Jr., who argued on the behalf of like socialistic redistributionism.
Oh my!
Like, so there's all these things. So of course Dave Rubin is like blank center. Adolf Hitler is far top left corner. Bernie and AOC are on top. Dennis Prager is to the right of them. Donald Trump and Paul Joseph Watson are below that. Ben Shapiro's softly to the right of them and a little bit below. Then it goes Kennedy and JFK to the right. Tim Pool is sort of like hovering around the libertarian left. At the bottom left-hand corner is Jordan Peterson, who's apparently some sort of anarcho-syndicalist, which is hilarious to me. And then the top left corner are SJWs.
Off the map.
Off the
map. Wait, who's the guy just above PJW and Daddy Trump?
That's Dennis Prager.
Oh, okay.
Creator of Prager University, the accredited college.
One of the best YouTube channels out there.
Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, when I look at this, I think, yeah, someone's doing a goof, but at the same time, people have made these arguments that, like, I've heard Dave Rubin say, you know, that Martin Luther King Jr. today, if he were still alive, he would be a conservative Republican. Like, these are not things that are that outside of what I've heard repeated by certain people. My issue with a lot of this shit is just like the complete misunderstanding and misuse and misappropriation of any sort of political spectrum in general, which, insofar as I'm sort of concerned, is completely meaningless. Like, some of these words are used in such like a loose fitting manner that it means like absolutely nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is actually a game of darts that they all played. That's where they all got.
Of course, Dave Rubin is a bullseye there in the center.
Yeah.
He's by definition a straight shooter.
Stefan Molyneux is right underneath him.
Dave Rubin was he was doing a tour pre-COVID times, and he was coming to like, you know, venues around the United States on his tour where he, I guess, does a talk and then opens up the thing for questions and shit. So I got this advertised to me on my Facebook through a sponsored post, and as a goof, I'm a bit of a goofball, you know. I also do stand-up comedy, right? So I commented it underneath that sponsored post, like, can't wait to open up this show with 15 minutes of stand-up comedy.
Right.
And my mom follows me on Facebook, but she can only see like my public posts. So she texts me, she goes, "Hey, how'd you get that gig with that guy?" Yeah, I'd be like, well, good news and bad news. Bad news is I didn't actually get the gig. Good news is I didn't get the gig, you know. I just lied. I had to tell my mom that I lie on the internet, you know.
Wow, that's unfortunate. Kevin saw Dave Rubin do quote unquote stand up once.
Not great.
Not great.
Really? Where was it?
It was in Brea, California, just outside of LA.
Whoa.
Brea?
Yeah, and he would always do these like fucking bits. He's like, "We're in Brea." Like,
he did.
He's like, "Where the hell's Brea?"
Like, you live in California.
Like, it was like the laziest crowd work I've ever fucking seen, where he just was like, "Welcome to Brea, California, wherever that is." Okay.
And then he did like the Oppression Olympics thing, where he's like, "Who's the most oppressed here? Who's the most oppressed?"
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Ooh, God.
And then somebody in the audience raised their hand and like, "I'm an attack helicopter. Look at me. Good stuff.
Oh, God.
Grant, what's your punishment for this?
Man. I think my punishment for this is, speaking of the lighthouse, which I saw, I don't know, a week ago or so, whatever the fuck day it is. You know, there's I don't want to ruin the movie. Fuck. Okay, I got a better one.
Oh, good thing Brett's already seen it.
Yeah, good thing Brett's already seen it. But for some of the people that haven't seen it yet, If you've seen Pulp Fiction, for instance, there's...
What about Harry Potter? You got anything for that?
If you've seen Harry Potter... No, I don't have anything for Harry Potter, but Pulp Fiction, they're carrying around that briefcase, and you open up the briefcase, and it's like this gold light, and you're like, what's that gold light? Well, that happens to you. That happens to you. You witness that gold light, and you see like all of the entire political spectrum, shine before your eyes, and you fall down a circular flight of stairs, and birds eat out your insides.
Wow.
Yeah, just like what happened in the movie Pulp Fiction. Because it's so fucking frustrating. It's like people don't even want to look up what terms mean. They just figure like, the left is bad and the right is good, or like someone is more, they want to do more things than other things, and socialism is when the government does things, which is the left, but when the right does socialism, that's just populist economics. And it's just like, you don't even look up what any of these fucking terms mean, and people just spitball them out like fucking crazy, and it drives me insane to watch people say things along the lines of like, oh, the left is going too far left, or like, oh, well, the government's shifting right. And it's just like, take a second and consider what the fuck you're even talking about. And like, look up some of the fucking terms that you fucking need to know in order to even have an opinion on some of this stuff. Fuck!
Well, look, all I see in this chart is a bunch of high-level thinkers. And whoever made this decided that Sam Cedar should be on this with everybody as well.
Right.
Nothing. I like Sam Cedar a whole lot, but it's very funny that like you can tell this comes from an internet poisoned brain.
Oh yeah.
Because like there's a lot of people that you could fill in, and I would be curious to see. Like, I want to see the extended universe of this Avengers we got here.
Right.
Like where more, like, I want to see more people on this map, but it's just funny that like of all the people you could consider in order to make your point about who's actually left, right, authoritarian or libertarian, like that Sam Cedar would be involved in this.
Or just
is he really that popular?
I mean, I think the Majority Report now has like 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I think he's starting to finally get up there after like years and years of cracking away at like a public radio show for, the past 15 years or whatever. But my favorite thing about this is that it's mostly like YouTubers, which is hilarious to me, that there's no representation of like an actual intellectual on here. God, like in any sense of the word, like I wouldn't even call JFK or Martin Luther King Jr. necessarily like an intellectual. Like they were public figures, but I wouldn't consider them to be like at the forefront of, a particular ideology other than like civil rights or something like that. But the rest of them are like the President Hitler, two politicians, and then a bunch of YouTubers, which is hilarious to me that's like the entirety of the political spectrum to people.
Right. I have 5 words for you. Mitt Romney, YouTube channel when?
That's a great question.
Wait till I'm bating breath.
Hey, YouTube, it's me, Mitt Romney.
Hey guys, what's up? Anyway, moving right along here, if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often quite unusual punishment. Well, boys, April is here. We're recording this episode on April 2nd, and that, of course, means that April Fool's just happened, but sad. Was canceled this year. What's next? Going to cancel Christmas? What's next? They're going to cancel Christ? I don't know.
That's about right. It's these fucking liberal ass schools that are going to cancel Jesus.
So
cancel culture strikes again.
Once gone too far, perhaps. So that's right. This year, April Fool's Day was canceled amidst the COVID-19 pandemic that is upon us currently. I'm sure there was plenty of, goofs and pranks people could have fabricated on the subject. I couldn't begin to even speculate on the subject, but this year it didn't happen. But there was a big debate about it. All over Twitter was just like, okay, guys, no pranks. And then there was people fighting for it. There was people fighting for it saying, we gotta laugh. We gotta prank. That's how we get out of this alive. And you know what?
You're saying I bought these 1,000 crickets for nothing? Okay, you're saying I spent all the last week buying 9 pigs and numbering them 1 through 10, but skipping 8 for freaking nothing?
This can of snakes is going to go bad by next year.
You're going to tell my kids that the hand buzzer is going to be rusting in the basement all year just because your silly little COVID pandemic?
My grandfather got laid off from the whoopee cushion factory. Hope you're happy.
You're going to tell me that I've been pranking multiple women in California beaches by flipping a coin and telling them if I win the coin flip that they have to kiss me. You're telling me that I did all of that for nothing and that I have to throw all that footage away and that I got absolutely nothing out of that?
Okay. So you're telling me that I just need to spill regular ink all over the librarian's blouse and it won't even disappear?
That's just mean.
I would never do that.
He has to.
Want
you
the
have
ink
to
to
do it, though. You have to do it.
It's unfortunate. I've committed myself to that.
You see, that's the thing. Nobody thinks about the fucking economy. Okay? People are out of jobs because of this. Now, granted.
Yeah.
They're granted.
What? Yeah, I'm listening.
People are dying a lot, but from the illness. So maybe it's not the best time for pranks and goofs. I don't know, but there was a debate raging about this on Twitter. And I gotta say, April Fool's Day came and went, and not a word of Christ. Makes you wonder what's happening to the society.
Really does.
That's a damn shame.
Did you see any more about this, Grant?
No, that's really the extent of it. People were arguing, and the day went by, and none of it mattered. In fact, it felt like April Fool's was a week ago.
I was pretty sure that I would wake up April 1st, crack of 2 p.m., look at my phone and see that, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 5,000 or 100, I don't remember how many S&Ps there are, but they said April Fools the markets are fine, everyone. Don't worry about it. But that wasn't the case.
Hilarious.
I thought that was going to happen.
So the punishment this week for this holiday, put the Christ back in April Fool's Day. That's right. Let's not forget the reason for the season. Oh, we're not allowed to get together at church anymore because of the sickness. Who will save us?
Do you remember when Trump was like, "We're going to get everyone back together for Easter. Easter is when everyone is going to get together again." I mean, I thought Trump was one of us. I thought it was going to be like, we're going to get April Fools back. We're going to be back in public by April Fool's Day, and everyone was like,
unbelievable.
What are you doing? Yeah,
this is America, sir.
Yeah. I see. In fact, I'm still looking at this political chart because Trump didn't do that. I would actually move him in whichever direction is the bad direction on this chart, which I think is further away from the center.
I think so. Closer to Hitler, definitely.
Grant, what do you want to get to next here?
Brett, do you have a sound effect on your soundboard that's like an Italian guy?
Gee, let me think. Sure.
Do you got like a guy saying gabagool or something?
The answer is no, but I could probably have somebody call in and do the voice.
No, that's cool. Just use some.
They're already calling in. They're already calling in. Yeah, hello.
All
right. Mozzarella.
All right, great, thank you. So clip that sound effect, and then I've got to make sure to play the sound effect right after I announce this new segment. We got a new segment on the show since we've been talking about it so much. The new segment's called Cuomo Watch.
Mozzarella. Dude, we kind of did a deep dive on the Cuomo contingency last night on the stream.
The Cuomo contingency. Fuck, that's so much better. That's so much better than what I had planned.
What do you got? I've become upset. I didn't realize that Andrew and Chris, or Andy and Chris, were related.
Right. And they're the son of they're the son of another former Cuomo, who was another former governor of the state of New York. God, just this year in general, yeah, we've covered the Cuomos in like 2 or 3 past episodes, and now it's like the floodgates have been opened because there's like 4 news stories. I kid you not, 4 different news stories. And let's start off with what's on everyone's lips right now. The one everyone's talking about. People can't stop looking away from it. It's sort of like the dress. It's like, what do you think? Is this blue and gold or black and white? Was that the Italian sound effect?
I was trying to cue it up, but it started playing before I could have hit pause.
So, call it what you want. Nipplegate or Nipplegazi. Have you guys seen Andrew Cuomo's nipples yet?
Nipplegazi. I love it. Yes, I have seen this.
Kevin, have you seen Nipplegazi yet?
I'm looking at a picture here where his nipples are through a polo shirt. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Zoom in on his right titty.
Wait, are his fucking nipples pierced?
So that's the question that's been on everyone's lips is, does Andrew Cuomo have some sort of weird nipple piercing, or what's going on there? These don't look right. We've seen other pictures of him in previous years wearing the same polo, and his nipples look normal, but, you know, they're peeking out weird. What's going on?
Do you have any theories?
Nope, I've not put more than 2 seconds of thought into this entire story.
What if it was perhaps a little bit cold and his nipples started to widen and enlargen?
But it's like a weird shape.
Yeah, he's got X nipples. So if they're not pierced, he has X-shaped nipples. If they're not pierced and he's got regular nippoids, he's wearing 2 wires.
He's a fucking rat!
It is very clear. You can very clearly make out the X, though.
You know what I'm sort of thinking, and this might be, you know, a little bit conspiratorial, but I'm thinking he put on that shirt and he was looking at himself in the mirror and he's like, you know, my nipples are pretty prominent right now. Like, they're sticking out a little bit too much. Maybe he had one of those Impossible Whoppers from Burger King, and he was just looking at him and he's like, it's too distracting. They're just poking out too much through this shirt. I'm going to take some Band-Aids and I'm going to cover them up. I'm going to take one Band-Aid and put it diagonal, and then one Band-Aid going the other diagonal. I'm going to make little X's, and they're going to be flush with my body, and nobody's going to notice.
Like pasties?
Yeah, kinda. I think that's what he thought.
I don't know, man. It looks a little bit like Band-Aids are flat, you know?
Yeah, but you know when you put like a Band-Aid on your hand and you like squeeze your hand a little bit, and the flat part that's not the adhesive part, it's sort of like bumps up a little bit, you know? Like, certain parts of the Band-Aid are flat, but this could be the portion of the Band-Aid where it's sticking up a little bit, you know? Like, it looks like it. I hate that I'm looking at this for so long. I hate this so much. I don't want to look at this any longer. This is disgusting.
I like to think that both of his nipples are X's and it looks like his torso just died in the cartoon. Did you also see when Andrew and Chris were on? Andrew Cuomo was on Chris's show on I think it was CNN.
Yeah, we played that with the.
But there's a new
called Chris the meatball of the family.
Yeah, there's a new clip because they've kept doing these interviews.
Oh, I've had to learn and do stuff with the kids. I don't know why you take your shot at that. I mean, just because you don't cook. I mean, Mom shares her secrets about how to make sauce. Very few people. I mean, you shouldn't criticize yourself that you're not one of the people that Mom saw as worthy to, teach how to cook and make tomato sauce.
Well, look, I'm sure she would have. It's just that you spent so much more time in the kitchen, Chris, than I did. You were just available to her. You had that always like Mom's little helper in the kitchen. I really respect that. So I think because you were there and always underfoot.
Yeah, see, I don't see it that way.
How many? I mean, you spent years in the kitchen when you think of it.
I don't see it that way. I didn't spend years.
Well, I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean to offend you.
I think you did, but that's okay. There's no offense taken. There's no offense taken. But what I'm saying is,
please. That you helped Mom in the kitchen was a beautiful thing. I had to do work.
I didn't help Mom in the kitchen. You're saying something a little different. She taught me things that she chose not to teach you, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to play the sound.
Can I ask you a question?
But I just, hold on a second. You have
Where are you?
I'm having a...
Where are you? Ask you a question.
But I just, hold on a second.
Where are you?
I'm having a...
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in the process of making a point, is where I am. I'm in my basement.
But where are you physically?
I'm in my basement. That's what I just said. Yeah, that's where I am.
Are you in your basement? Well, you spend a lot of time there, right? Christina says she sends you there a lot. So kitchen and basement, that's where you spend your life. Okay.
Here's what I'm trying to say. I'm in the basement because this is where I had the availability to do this. Right now, I need to be working at home. That's why I'm here. But Mom, you don't have to play the sound. But last night, I was doing what I do for my family, which is make my mother's sauce. She taught me how to make the sauce, which is something that is very coveted. And she said, I can only teach not she, who will carry it on best. And you will see the B-roll of me cooking. My mother called me and said, and I was listening to one of her favorite songs on Andrea Bocelli, and you'll see I had a picture of her behind me, as I always do when I'm cooking in the kitchen. I always have a picture of my mother there to remember our bond and how I care for her, that she taught me how to make the sauce. She didn't teach anybody else. And she called...
Global pandemic. They're just wasting national TV time being like, no, you the fucking meatball of the family. No, you are.
The governor of the state of New York / the 46th president of the United States of America and the host of a widely watched fucking CNN fucking news show fighting about who made the sauce in the family, who's the biggest meatball.
So yeah, it's just very funny to me that among this, like, look, I mean, I'll say it like this. I've said it before. In fact, I think it was the first person to say these words. But amid these unprecedented times, which I think I'm going to change the name of the Big Time Garbage Stream to amid these unprecedented times. The CNN anchor is using his time on national TV. He has coronavirus, by the way. He was just he just tested positive for it. Him and his brother, who is the leader of the free world, is what I call New York City, right? New York State, right? He's a governor, right?
Yeah, he's a governor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although so people want him to run for president, like, since Biden's basically dead somewhere. And people are using his body as a puppet. They're like, oh, just make Andrew Cuomo. I know nothing about Andrew Cuomo, but just like, let's stick him in there because he's yelling about fucking, he's yelling at people to stay in their homes. Like, that seems like a leader.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were saying that they were going to replace Biden with Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
That's insane. But there's
a lot of people saying
the governor. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
Look, there's some rumblings out there, but Look, I don't want to speak out of line here, but that would be hilarious and one of the funniest things I've ever seen in politics. But the governor of the state where it's hit the hardest is like on national TV calling his brother like a meatball. Making fun of him for spending time in the kitchen learning recipes and stuff. And then the best part was they showed like cell phone video of him like with an apron on, as if he wasn't just on TV like months before going like, hey, you call me Frito, that's basically like the N-word for Italians.
Also, they had that graphic and video ready immediately too.
Yeah. It's
just anything to not cover Bernie's like a nightly address to the American public.
Right. It's theater. We were talking about this, I think the first time when they were arguing with each other, about who's mom's favorite or whatever the fuck. And it was like, oh, well, is this like a serious fight or is it playful or whatever? There's no chance that this keeps happening and that it's not just like, oh, well, 45 minutes into your show, we're going to bring your brother on and you two are going to argue for about 2.5 minutes about your mom's cooking. Like, this gets good ratings. Like, people are fucking talking about the Cuomo brothers non-fucking stop because of this shit. Us included.
I'm beginning to worry, like, nobody passed down anything to me in the kitchen, any interesting recipes or anything like that. Not that I was like mom's helper or anything like that,
Well, you wasn't Italian. You weren't Italian. You didn't learn the sauce, okay? That's my people. That's the Fredos. We learned the sauce. We learned the meatballs. Oh!
All I heard was a meatball. Oh, like Andrew Cuomo does Clay.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. Maybe this is an elaborate Andrew Dice Clay character, this whole thing.
He's playing both Cuomos.
Yeah, like a Nutty Professor situation. Which I think that should be the punishment. I think they should reboot the Nutty Fredos or whatever, Andrew Dice Clay plays all of them.
All of the Cuomos.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have one last news story since we already punished him, and you mentioned he has COVID, but we talked about it a little. I brought it up. People are sort of pushing for him to take over the Joe Biden position as the front runner of the Democratic ticket right now. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. If you're at home, just search the most popular man in America, Andrew Cuomo, and see it should be like the head of a magazine, and just see what pops up and see what you think about it. So I'm about to pull that up, and this is a tweet comparing a side-by-side of Andrew Cuomo and then just a naked guy.
Jesus.
But look at the way that he's standing in this. Like a toddler that shit his pants that didn't want his parents to notice.
Goodness.
He looks like he's about to break the internet.
He's pouring spaghetti sauce into a chalice balanced on his tiny ass. Forget about. No, I love this.
All I got.
I love this picture because what I've been looking for in the media sphere now that I've been doing all this Twitch streaming is easily keyable backgrounds.
Right.
So I can just get that as an asset and just place it right on top of the screen.
Yeah, you could.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's all I got as far as news regarding Cuomo Watch. Or what did you say, Brett? The Cuomo. Fuck. I'll just re-listen to the episode later.
Yeah. It's a secret. I didn't forget what I said. It's a secret. The Cuomo contingency, like a cohort,
right?
A cohort
contingency.
Hey, are you guys ready to vote for Andrew Cuomo, aka are you ready to become Cuomiacs?
It's time for Quo-me-ani-X. All right.
Quo
Hoggy.
Hey, we're not here to defend the status quo. We're here to defend the status quo. Thanks everyone.
Should we move on to Key to the City?
Let's. My key to the city this week goes to Jabuki on Twitter. He changed his Twitter handle to CNN Breaking News. And Jabuki's verified, so it looks real. And it was breaking. Joe Biden is not dead. He's just getting some dick. We've all been there. And they took his verification check mark away. And he got banned, but I believe he... let me see if he has his check mark back. Nope.
Yeah, I think they take that away from you.
Crazy
Did
world.
he get banned?
Well, he's back on now, but they did not give him back his check mark.
Oh.
But you know what? He brings up an interesting point, and it really makes you think.
I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Brett, did you have a key to the city this week? Something nice / uplifting or cool?
Key to the city. I'm gonna go ahead and give the key to the city to no one, because no one should be in these public places right now.
Oh.
Hashtag
that
brave.
key has been in the hands of a lot of people. In fact, I'll give the key to the city to a couple globs of Purell.
There we go.
That's good.
Also, I keep on seeing Aaron Klopfer's OnlyFans video come up where he's sucking his own dick, and that's pretty good too.
That is great.
More of that content out there. That's what I want to see.
Content.
This coronavirus is giving us all kind of crazy content. You know, it's not all bad. Grant, what's your key to the city?
My key to the city is a video, and I don't think we have to play the video because there's no really sort of important audio behind it, unless you guys haven't seen it yet. But it's this video that I believe a bunch of Chicago comedians made, and I don't know any of them, but it's this video shared by Garrett Williams at badboygargar, Gargar, on Twitter. It's him and his 4 roommates that are all dressed up in like different pastel colored like jumpsuits, and they do this weird dance to this like Europop song. It's got over 7 million views, and it's sort of like it's taken up the space in my mind that the Big Baby song has taken up, which means that I've been watching it 10 times a day every day since it was tweeted out. You guys seen this?
I have not.
I'm watching it right now.
Go check it out. It's entrancing.
Without audio, it's alarming.
Right.
Yeah, I'm watching it without audio because, you know.
Well, put that audio on because it's worth it.
I don't understand you.
Oh,
You like to learn.
yeah. No, this works
When
completely.
we first met, I would
This is fantastic. I can't get enough of this.
I
Actually.
didn't know you. We were bound together.
That's probably good, yeah.
That's good stuff.
The people got what they wanted. They got what they're here for. So key to the city to them. And if you guys listen to Thought Cops, come on sometime. All of you.
Yep.
They're listening right now, man. They're coming.
Probably. I don't see why not. I have no reason to believe that they aren't.
Do we have a word of the week this week?
I don't think so.
Unprecedented.
That's good.
I feel like there was.
It's unprecedented that you didn't have a word of the week.
Oh, you're just saying that it's unprecedented.
Desperate times, you know? Let's see.
Quombology, the study of Cuomo? It's first grade, Andrew.
That's fair. Quomology, yeah. You heard it here first, folks.
The study of Cuomo?
I want to look that word up on Google Quom.
Before we get to our last segment of the show, which is the listener voicemails, Brett, plug all your stuff, man.
Check out twitch.tv/bigtimegarbage. We go live every day at around 9, and we've gone as late as like 3 a.m., but usually it ends around 11. It's completely open forum. You can drop by. I mean, it's just a way to keep us sane. We we try to make it funny. We get into weird YouTube rabbit holes and things like that. We're very responsive to the people in the chat. So if you want to hang out with us, please do. It's literally all we got. That's the only thing that I got going in my life right now. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you want to come on, just like hit me up and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know Grant's been on. I definitely plan on coming on soon.
We gotta get Grant. We gotta get you back on. That doesn't count.
Yeah, definitely.
No, you had your one wish, man. You used it.
Oh man,
that was your Make-A-Wish Foundation.
But yeah, we just got to the point where we can affiliate. Where we have enough followers to be an affiliate. So I'm still trying to figure out the platform myself, but yeah, please come by, fuck with us.
You got to keep collecting subscriptions up until you hit $100, and then you can finally get a payout. I think we're at 20 right now, so it takes kind of a while.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Brett, where can we find you on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff?
Just at Brett Mercer on Twitter, Brett Mercer with underscore at the end of it, and then on Instagram. I've been really pulling back on my posting to social media now that the Twitch stream has gotten all of my energy and takes. Yeah. That's when you'll see me at the spiciest. But yeah, Twitter is probably the best place to follow me. Got a little Calvin icon I've been rocking for a little bit. That makes me feel good.
What is it? Brett underscore Mercer? Or
it's Brett Mercer underscore. Yeah. And if you want to tweet at Brett Mercer to give up his longly inactive Twitter handle, you can do that too.
Hey, same thing with at Thought Cops. Tweet at that guy. Fuck that guy. Give us our handle.
These fucking people, man.
Makes me fucking sick.
Yeah, they're definitely not the meatballs of their family, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Or maybe they are. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know either. They didn't really clarify.
All right, let's hit those voicemails.
If you want to leave your own voicemail that we can play on the show, all you have to do is pick up your cellular device, and you have to go to the phone, the little picture of the phone, and you hit that, and then you pull up the thumb pad so you can put numbers in, and you dial 312-788-7361. Then you save that number in your phone for a rainy day. You list that under Thought Cops. And one day when you're really drunk, you call into the show. That's the best way to leave a voicemail. If you're not capable of doing that, record an audio file if you're out of the country or something like that. Record an audio file and send it to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, Thought Cops. I am Netrunner here. And this week, my 2 minutes of hate is introverts. Now, I've always found them to be really annoying. They think they're all uppity, and they always depict themselves reading books like they're some kind of intellectual. But with this self-isolation quarantine thing going on, they're getting extra uppity and acting like they've always had the right idea by staying in and whatnot. And these are the motherfuckers that are like specifically, I saw somebody made quote unquote posters today on Twitter for they're like travel posters, but visit your bedroom or stay in the living room. And it's yeah, that's easy to say when you fucking do that anyway and don't have a life. But for those of us that enjoy going out, it's kind of hard. So why don't you fuck the fuck off? Get fucked. All right. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Oh, thank you.
So travel posters for staying at home. That fucking sucks.
Yeah. I feel like...
who's going to see... Where are you going to put them up where people can see them?
In your home, I guess. Or on Twitter for clout. Even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like I'm both angered at everything right now, and I'm also just this level of complacent, which is just to say that stuff bothers me, but I'm probably doing other things to cope with this shit that probably bothers other people. So it's just sort of this wish-washy, everything sucks, right?
Guys, you know what the Corona Chan took for me? They took away 90 Day Fiancé. They're canceling all recordings and indefinitely. And
what's that?
I'm so sad.
Oh,
sorry.
shorter than usual, and it made me sad at the end.
Yeah, usually those go on for a little longer. They're a little more rambly, but wow, I really felt the pain on that one.
Yeah. Anybody know what 90 Day Fiancé is?
They usually go on for 90 days, but this one has been cut short for some unforeseen reason.
Yeah, unforeseen.
Oh, wow.
Have you guys watched that show?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Is it good?
It's interesting.
What is it?
You could say that. 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah, but what is it?
Oh, it's like somebody gets a fiance from overseas and they know them for 90 days and they got to get married in the 90 days. I don't know. It's like a mail order bride thing. It's a reality show. It's one of those things I had to watch at gunpoint once.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'm about 3 episodes away from finishing Tiger King, so I'm going to need some new content to watch during the day.
I don't know how we did this whole episode without talking about Tiger King once. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah. Hey, my 2 minutes of hate goes to these goddamn animal rights activists. They don't know what they're doing to people like me who are just living their lives. My 2 minutes of hate is for Carol Baskin, who better watch her fucking ass.
And these are references. You got to watch the show Tiger King to understand.
Probably not. I mean, just listen to how funny the voice is, and imagine I have a mullet and like a handlebar, or one of those. What are the goatees where the chin is?
Yeah, I've seen the guy on Twitter. I've seen pictures
like a horseshoe.
Of him.
A horseshoe.
If you guys haven't watched that show, you got it's incredible. I don't understand how it's so fucking good, but like. Yeah, check it out. 2 minutes of love to that show that I haven't finished yet. That's the most popular thing in the world right now.
Yeah, see, I feel like whenever there's something that just gets really popular out of nowhere, I like to remain ignorant to it because I can like pretend I live in this like alternate universe where I don't know what the popular thing is or I don't know what people are talking about. Like, imagine if you just went to a parallel universe and everybody was obsessed with this thing that you have no idea what it is. That's what I get to pretend to do that every day when I hear people talk about Tiger King. I don't know what the fuck it is.
That sounds really cool, man.
Yeah, man. It's like smoking weed, dude.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Anyway, but I think that's about it for our voicemails. But like Grant said at the top there, you can leave us your own at 312-788-7361. Give us a call. We're here for you 24/7. Brett, thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate I really appreciate it. Having me on.
I feel like you're like one of the funniest guys I know, so it's always a blast to get you back here on the show.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. That makes me feel great. Amid these unprecedented times, it's nice to know just one person laughs at me going like, "Hey, man!" Oh,
I mean, to be fair, it is just one. It is just me.
Right, and that's why I couldn't be more appreciative of it.
Anytime, man. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening to the show. You can support the show if you like at patreon.com/thoughtcops. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.